저한테는 되게 돌리즈컨보다 GSL 결승보다 되게 중요한 경기였는데 이렇게 올라가게 돼서 너무 기쁘네요.
컨디션이 좀 안 좋아가지고 좀 많이 긴장하면서 했는데 올라가서 되게 좋은 것 같아요.
조성주 S 뭐만 하면 공격을 하고 있어요. 그러니까 옥수보도 따라하기 어려울 만큼 공격을 하고 있어요.
스타일이 저랑 비슷해가지고 다른 사람들도 다 저랑 스타일 비슷하다 하더라고요. 그래서 저랑 비슷한 거 S?
수비력도 S예요. 이게 팬분들이 오해하시기 쉬운데 공격력이 S라고 수비력이 낮은 게 아니에요. 성주가 수비하면 수비도 되게 잘해요. 자유의 시절은 이렇게 공격적이 아니에요. 수비적이었거든요, 성주는. 제가 얘도 안지 한 7, 8년 정도 됐는데 얘도 수비력도 되게 좋아요.
수비도 잘한다.
진짜요? 각각이 뭐한데? A. 그냥 보통 잘하는 것 같아요. 못 막을 때 좀 스무스하게 치더라고요.
전략성 A. 성주가 되게 특이한 빌드도 쓰기도 하는데 그래도 제가 볼 때는 그러니까 자기가 자신 있는 빌드를 주로 쓰거든요. 항상 그 빌드만. 그러니까 다양하진 않죠.
S? 전진 건물 되게 많이 하시더라고요. 좀 잘 섞는 것 같은 그런 거. 18 S. 그냥 사신컨 잘해서 부럽더라고요.
피지컬 S. 공격에 S, 수비 S 나오게 하려면 피지컬이 받쳐줘야 돼요.
노랑 지금 누가 잘하죠?
제 생각엔 전 성주가 더 잘하는 것 같아요.
평소 따지겠는데.
그건 아닌 것 같아요. S급은 이시영 선수 한 명인 것 같아요. 완전 진짜 한 단계 더 위에 있는 것 같긴 한데 A? 그래도 우승한 사람들은 어느 정도 멘탈이 받쳐줘야 할 수 있어요. 우승한 선수들은 최소 A는 된다고 생각해요.
진짜? F. 이기면 엄청 좋아하는데 지면은 완전 나가더라고요. F보다 낮은 것 같아요. 보고 있으면 재밌어.
스타성 A. 성주가 S 두기에는 너무 말주변이 너무 없어요. 말을 너무 못해요. 지금은 되게 많이 늘었어요. 되게 많이 는 건데 예전에는 진짜 처음 봤을 때는 아무 말도 안 했어요. 말만 잘했으면 S 플러스거든요.
처음에 아예 말을 안 했어가지고 S. 인기 되게 많던데.
왜 이게
방송하는 거 보면은 많이 보더라고요.
성주 귀엽긴 한데 귀엽죠. 성주 귀엽죠. S 플러스
남자 같은 남자잖아.
측정 불가. 없어요. 측정 안 할래요. 없어요 그런 거. 엄청 애기 때 초등학교 때 봤는데 중학교 때 봤는데 얘가 그러니까 성인이 됐다는 게 저는 아직도 믿기지가 않아요.
여자 선수가 되게 무겁 이런 거
네.
본인 숨기지도 않고
네.
맨날 사람이 있어요.
네. 그때부터 좀 심했죠. S도 너무 세. 그냥 다 보라고 하고 추천 하나씩 해주면서 네. 봤는데 재밌더라고요.
전문들 새로운
지연이요? 네. 그 형도 되게 좋아하더라고요. 그 형 때문에.
성주야, 나랑 안지 되게 오래됐는데 아직까지 공식전이 그렇게 많지가 않아. 아마 3대3 정도인 걸로 알고 있는데 이번에 8강에서 만나가지고 한번 진검승 한번 펼쳐보자.
형 때문에 떨어질 뻔 했는데 그래도 이렇게 올라왔으니까 재밌게 합시다. 누가 저도 기뻐해 주자.
All right, it's time to start up our second best of 5 to find out who will be facing off against Gumiho in the round of 4.
That's pretty funny.
일단만 봐도 두 분이 얼마나 친한지
It's a pretty funny
느껴지죠.
one.
대기실에서도
Yeah, I like
두
that
분이
interview.
S-class cuteness.
경기를 과전했는데요.
Not that good
Deny
at
that.
interviews.
두 명의 선수가
We're going to go to the live interview now and see what they're thinking before we start this match.
함께 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
He says we have 2 match veterans in the round of 8. Hellos are passed
자,
around.
이렇게 껄끄러운 상대를 8강에서 만나게 됐습니다. 자, 두 분의 무게감 서로에게 어떻게 생각을 하는지 궁금하거든요. 경기에서 이렇게 중요한
Let's hear what they're
경기에서
thinking about each
조성주
other.
선수가 나에게 주는 압박감, 무게감 어느
This is a
정도인가요?
very important match. What do you have to say?
뭐 아직 경기에서 많이 만나보진 않아서 그런 압박감은 없는데 근데 앞선
Well, since
경기에서
I haven't really had matches against
성주는
Maru for
태양이랑
a while,
연습하고
I don't really
저는
have
경기랑
much
자주 했거든요.
pressure on me.
오늘 경기 전에. 근데
네.
그 태양이를
Maru helped
이겼다고 하더라고요.
TY,
좀
and I
많이
helped
이겼다고
Gumi
하더라고요.
네.
그래서 조금 걱정이 좀 되기 시작했어요.
아, 그래요?
So-
자, 조성주 선수는 어떠세요? 변현우 선수가 주는 압박감.
When he helped
무게감.
practice with TY, he actually beat TY a lot.
예전부터 친했어가지고
That
그런
does
건
make
딱히
me a little
없는
bit
것
nervous.
없어요.
네.
두 분 모두
What do you want to say
자존심을
about that, Maru?
세우시는 모습 잘 봤습니다.
He says he's wearing
두 분
clothes as
연습은
friends.
그래도
Not much things to
열심히
say.
해오셨겠죠. 두 분이
Yep, there's those
오늘
great
이야기
interview
나누셨을
skills.
거예요.
Here we go.
대기실에서.
I don't know, we're friends. I
어떤 것
don't really
같아요?
want to talk.
상당히 연습 많이 온 것 같아요.
연습은 제가 더 많이 한 것 같아요.
아, 그래요?
네.
You guys were hanging
조성주
out together
선수
while you were
연습 잘안
waiting.
됐나요?
딱히 많이 한것
Oh,
같지
excuse me. He says, I think I
네.
practiced more than Maru. And Gear says, do you practice more?
서로에게 점수를 매겼었어요.
Maru says, I haven't practiced that much, but I think I'm still in good
충격적인
condition.
모습. 변현우 선수 멘탈이 F래요. 어떠세요?
Did you see Maru gave you an F on your mentality?
네.
What are your thoughts?
많이
He said, yeah, I guess I actually agree with that.
네.
근데 쟤도 뭐 비슷해요.
아, 그래요?
네.
비슷해요?
I think when I lose
졌을 때
matches,
좀 많이
you could
무너지는 거
definitely
많이
tell that I'm
보였으니까.
upset.
네.
But I think Maru's actually the same.
오늘 그럼 멘탈 지키는 게 핵심 포인트겠네요.
He also gets, he also feels shattered if he loses. He's a
변현우
fragile
선수가
guy
나에
like me.
대해서 이렇게 점수를 매긴
I
걸
don't know about
봤는데
that.
어떠셨어요?
일단
You saw
점수 되게
you're,
호락해 줘가지고
you were
네.
given
기분이
S
좋았고.
class,
네.
but hold on.
좋은 거
I
같아요.
think he graded higher than I expected.
자신이 점수를 준
I'm happy
것에
about that.
대해서는 후회 안 하세요?
멘탈을 좀 더
What
내렸어야
about the
돼.
mentality?
아, 그래요?
What about the scores you given him?
자, 정말
He said I
중요한
should have given
길목에서
lower than F on
태태전을
his
하게
mentality.
됐습니다. 이제 지면 끝이거든요.
그래, 그렇죠.
그런 만큼 비장한 각오로
When are you guys going to be knocked out if whoever
자,
loses?
사진을 잘 쓰는 변현우 선수에게 강력한 한마디.
Any words to each other before we start this?
꼭 졌으면 좋겠어.
Maru says, should I go first? He says,
네.
please lose to
꼭
me
졌으면
tonight.
좋겠어 하셨거든요.
제가 성주
And what about
16강
you,
경기를
ByuN?
봤는데 그러니까 40대 저걸
I watched his round of 16 matches.
근데
네.
아무리 그렇게 못 싸워도 그냥 어택당만 찍어도
I saw him losing a lot of Reapers
어떤
to
식으로
Zerglings.
컨트롤하면 그렇게 나오는지 모르겠어요 저는.
네.
오늘 한번 경기
I don't even know how
보여주셨으면
that's
좋겠어요.
possible.
네. 팩트 폭력.
What kind of control do you have?
알겠습니다. 두 분이 이렇게 강력한 한마디씩
And he says he
교환했는데요.
hopes he shows that
그럼
again.
최근
And that is going to do it for our interview. We will send our two players to their PCs and get this best of 5 going. Artie McTizzle.
Yes.
Artie McTwizzlers. Are you excited? I don't think we're going to have Mac in the series.
No, certainly
All right, I
not.
said it. I put it out there.
Wow.
I spoke from the
That
heart.
was so brave.
I'm so brave.
You're definitely right about that, I would say. I do not foresee any mech out of these two. They're both hyper-aggressive players. We'll see some sick micro battles. We'll see medevacs all over the place. I think we'll see a minimum of 2 base trades in this series. I don't know who really to pick out of these two.
I'm leaning towards ByuN.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say I lean a little bit towards Maru. I do like Maru's TVT. I feel like positionally he plays pretty well. Whereas ByuN in general in this matchup, I feel like is just so aggressive.
Well, I think Maru is most similar to TY. There's a little bit of a difference between the two of them, but they tend to play a very orthodox approach, and they're just executing these attacks very well.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
TY
that's not- yeah.
is a little bit more fights in the middle of the map that he always
Yeah.
wins, where Maru's more about dropping in locations before his opponent's ready.
Yeah, I would
ByuN,
say that in the TY to ByuN spectrum, he is somewhere in the middle there.
and I feel like with ByuN, he's just somebody who has such good control that if he wins 1 or 2 fights, it can spiral out of control. And sometimes he wins fights you're not even supposed to win, but he's just so good at juggling in and out of those medevacs, and knowing when he can dive in and engage. It's going to be a very interesting series.
I definitely agree with you on that. But will ByuN be like too aggressive? He graded Maru's defense as S, which I don't know if I agree with that, but if it is of that class, ByuN's going to be running into a brick wall quite often.
Could be. Definitely could be. ByuN, of course, the player to win in GSL Code S after, how many days was it? Being teamless, how long ago did we have before?
Like,
Nobody was winning a GSL Code S that wasn't on a team for a long time. Ever. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but that was how many days? 2,000 something?
let's see, so it was like 6 years or so, something like that.
Well, math is hard. I'm never going to figure this
Yeah,
one
it was
out
a little
on
over
TV.
6 years, so.
So he was the first guy to do that. That was crazy. And, you know, he's had some very
like
great
2,000
showings.
days.
BlizzCon, well done there, ByuN.
Indeed.
I am curious, though, to see if ByuN can keep this momentum he had at the end of 2016. Moving on into 2017, this tournament is going to be a big factor in where we place him as time progresses forward in StarCraft 2 history. Actually,
ByuN is not qualified for BlizzCon at the moment. Well, not many players are, truthfully. Like Stats and TY, I guess, are the only locked players. But the defending champion right now having a tough time this year. He's been falling out early of all these tournaments. He really is. He's not faring as well as you would hope. We still have plenty of the year left, plenty of tournaments left for him to do it, but this would be a good step forward. And Maru, by the way, I don't think this guy misses BlizzCon. Like, come on, Maru.
We're on his turf right now. This is game number 1, ByuN versus Maru. Let's see how it turns out. It is a best of 5, and the winner goes on to face off against yet another Terran, in this case, Gumiho, in the round of 4 of the GSL Code S. In the upper left, in the blue, he is
Team Expert, ByuN.
Gold Banner, because he's a GSL Code S champion.
And the defending world champion.
That's right.
Guess we'll wear one of those suits alongside Zest and Stats in the intro.
Got to dress him up like Captain Planet. He won the world. In the bottom right, in the red, our Terran player.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
Now, if there's a race that pollutes, Terran is that race.
You don't think it'd be Protoss? I feel like
Protoss seems pretty clean.
Actually, I guess it'd be Zerg
like
with
lasers and stuff. But Zerg is all biological, so I think it does count as pollution, though. It's like pretty dirty. Like trees burn down when the creep hits.
I feel like we'd see all these Pelicans landing on the Zerg's base and be like, look, they're covered in creep now. They're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right about that. Protoss, though, are definitely not they're clean.
Protoss make their beds. They look like a race that make their bed when they wake up.
Do Protoss need blankets?
No, they probably sleep on top of the blankets. It's all pretty weird.
Do they even lay down? They got those weird horse legs.
2 plane rides, 4th flight, 24th traveling. Wait, what did I?
24 hours traveling.
24 hours
14
traveling.
hours of flight.
Wow,
just
that's
to be here and see this.
Well, glad you made it.
He's getting on a plane right afterwards and going back. And then he's coming back on a plane to see the match tomorrow.
That's right.
You don't even have enough time. Just stay.
By the way, guys, in case you didn't know, for everybody who's watching, we have the next GSL Code S match tomorrow.
Yes.
So we've had to move the schedule around a little bit. So join us a little bit under 24 hours from now. We'll be right back here, bringing you the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, and we're all done TVT for a little bit after this. Of course, round of 4 will have another one, but PvP and ZVZ tomorrow, so that'll be a nice little change. I really only like mirror matchups anyways. This is what's wrong with chess, is you can't have 2 white sides play each other.
And they're moving their pieces at the same time.
Yeah, imagine that. Trying to occupy the same
There's
squares.
actually no way to win the game. You basically always end up with eliminating everything, and it's a draw.
Yeah.
There's at least one guy on chess Reddit that's like, this is the best way to have chess.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody listen to me?
If Bobby Fischer's alive, he would totally like this.
That's right. I'll keep quoting dead people to support my points.
So.
I like that little noise you made.
I like that. Keep quoting dead people to prove my points.
Yeah. That's a big thing when you see people argue on the internet about, we don't. Gaming hasn't been around that long. Someone's like, well, this is what this guy said. I'm like, well, that guy died 1,000 years ago. You don't know. You didn't know what smartphones were. I mean, we're in a totally different world now. Okay.
Did you?
If you told him you get in a metal tube and fly to another place and be there within about 12 hours, his mind would have been exploded.
He might change his views on a few things as well.
Yeah.
Do you speak ancient Greek? Did you do this translation? Are you sure he said that?
Yeah.
A lot of things could have changed.
Don't you think it's a little bit unfair to make him the point of your argument? You know?
You have any of your own thoughts rattling around in there that you could say?
Maybe not. Now, Maru, sticking to his roots, loads up the 1 Widow Mine and Marines. He's headed up here to the north, whereas ByuN is coming down here, and he's going to be doing some Reaper harass along with a Cyclone. I'm sorry, where's the Cyclone on the map? It's right outside. Yeah, it's right outside.
They're right down there. So this drop actually coming out of Maru could definitely get some damage done. Has a mine and Marines in there, but this attack is a big one. Maru's going to have to pull back, pull his SCVs up here as well.
he's coming forward now. SCV's here to block. The Marines kiting just a little bit. Nothing here to defend for ByuN. Even kills here on the SCVs. Right now, really not that much to put pressure on Maru's entrance as the Cyclone and Marine do go back home. 1 minute Widow Mine remains in that location as Maru continues to drop down over here.
Yeah, he's trying to get some additional SCVs here, and in fact he will, but he's going to end up losing absolutely everything over
my God,
time.
that medevac's still there. The Viking actually flew
crazy.
away.
And that Widow Mine is still sitting around as well in the natural.
Oh, this is a crime. That medevac got away.
I can't even believe that medevac got away.
That is such a good kill to get rid of the medevac.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that had like so little health. I think you
it was
even
one shot.
discount it.
Yeah.
Just about anything could have killed that.
I
If you had
wonder-
killed your own SCV, the floating corpse that went towards the moon would have probably killed it.
Yeah, no doubt. I wonder if ByuN is aware that he didn't get that. Because we didn't see this reaction where he tried to pull the Viking back for a second. I
Yeah,
wonder
like
if
he could have
just
locked on for a millisecond with the Cyclone even to kill it. You know, there was like a lot of ways to make sure that went down.
Well, that's strange there, coming from ByuN, that normally when it's two groups of units fighting each other, he's the one that has the proper algorithm built into his brain to handle it perfectly. Now we're going to have Cyclones and Vikings coming up here to the entrance, or I'm sorry, to the main. Meanwhile, at the entrance here for Maru, he's set up ready to defend. So let's see if he's actually prepared back there in the main. It did seem like he had a substantial amount over there at the front.
Double Cyclone drop going to be coming out. Double Viking going to fight off this single Viking for the time being. Did take a lot of damage on this medevac once again. Let's get a damage tally on this medevac, man.
Okay, he's coming in here now, trying to get a few of these SCVs. We don't have the Viking coming back here just yet.
Oh, going after the
good-
siege
good
tank.
targeting.
Oh, my God.
Maru. And he needs to pick up and probably pull out here as these Cyclones come forward. In fact, they're going to be just in range to do a little bit of damage. Can he actually do it?
Oh, my God.
Nicely done. He keeps it alive. Maru's medevacs have 9 lives, Artosis.
Seriously, this medevac right now has taken near 300 damage this game.
Yeah.
Like, if this was a tank in an MMO, we would be calling this guy, like, Faker or something, right? Because that's all it really takes to be a great MMO player. Or what is that even called? MOBA. I'm sorry, not MMO.
Yeah, MMOs
See how
are-
little I care about these other esports? Like, that's a fighting game, right?
All these genres with their M's and O's, okay?
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God.
So.
Can't spell Artosis without RTS.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. That's good.
You can't spell tasteless without less.
That's true. that's no one could deny that. Now, in this game, we've already had some pretty big blows come out here from Maru. Not that ByuN hasn't handled it disastrously, but Maru's come out on top. The only real screw up here from Maru that we've seen was when ByuN was when he just didn't get the kill on that Viking that was basically there for free.
Medevac picking up the double Cyclone once again, heading north. ByuN kind of roaming around on the map while taking his third base. Not sure he can really get too much damage done at the moment. But definitely this medevac coming in could mess up his SCVs once again.
Yeah,
Look at that, nothing there to defend.
Yeah, well, ByuN decided this was the time to move out as he was taking his third. There actually are some Marines and tanks over here. So he's going to get about 2 kills over here. And Maru almost looking like ByuN with that good pickup and dropping control and then backing out.
Well, like they were talking about, they definitely have similar styles of being very aggressive micro-based Terrans, but Maru adding like a little bit of extra something here. Definitely playing a little bit more like you were talking about, similar to TY. I would put him like on the scale in from TY to ByuN being the two extremes, right? Maybe closer to ByuN, but he has some of this great positional play as well. Look at this, a big air army, a couple siege tanks as well. He's going to be able to easily push this away, I would say.
It looks like he should. He doesn't even have, in fact, ByuN doesn't even have his whole army out here.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, you are crazy. If you're going to try to go into the main with that.
Wow, it just gets shot down. We're like, ByuN, like, come on, man. You're not going to make it at BlizzCon. You keep doing moves like that.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of times with ByuN, when he moves out, he's not following like the rule set that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Like anybody who's played StarCraft knows, there's just this knowledge you have about when you can go somewhere and what's the right amount of units to have. And, you know, the better you are, the more fine-tuned that is.
Yeah.
Just like whenever you look at your opponent's army and you kind of know, okay, I can engage this or I can't. But ByuN seems to break those rules, and I think sometimes it might end up, costing him the game. Like we're seeing right here, like this attack's not going to. In fact, he basically dropped in the location where his army was like walled in over here. Now he's getting some SCVs, but when you consider how many medevacs were picked off there, I mean, this is really going towards Maru. It's 156 to 119. Maru in the lead. I mean, Maru
that drop was bad.
Yeah, it was actually horrible.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But I don't even. It's always weird because with ByuN, I'm a little bit reluctant to get too critical. I guess in that case I can be because it didn't work out. But a lot of times he does something that we never think is going to work, and he's fine.
Well, Maru coming up to actually counter him right now. Has a ton up here in the air. Going to just bulldoze through everything. And from here, I can't even imagine. How would you lose from here, really?
Yeah, this is going to be an avalanche of Maru units. It's just going to smother the base of ByuN. I don't really see a way that ByuN can actually take this. You see some Marines. I believe it's one medevac above this. There's just not much to do. In fact, if Maru does this right, I think he basically just goes in, kicks in the front door, and ByuN is going to have to GG out. I mean, that's it.
You're very right about that. The SCVs coming down. They will be destroyed in a matter of seconds, and ByuN will have nothing left. GG is called.
Nicely done. Maru wins game number 1. Let's see if ByuN can pull it back together, or if he's going to be a Humpty Dumpty nerd.
Well, all the King's horses are being eliminated so far, but one of them will get through into the round of 4.
It's true.
And right now it's looking like it'll be Maru.
Well, that was a pretty big gap in skill in that last game. I mean, ByuN was not handling the attacks back at home that Maru was dishing out. ByuN was not dropping in ways that were actually going to behoove him at all.
Yeah.
So all the Nerds horses and all the Nerds men couldn't bring ByuNdy Dumpty back together again.
ByuNdy Dumpty. And to think Maru's only playing at 40% too, so this is like really painful. Now that was pretty dominating. That 4 medevac drop was kind of shocking. When you see that many Vikings and 2 Ravens full of energy,
yeah,
it's like, what are you hoping to accomplish?
Even for a split second, the idea that he was flirting with the thought of going in, I'm like, no, that is suicide, man.
It's just a crazy move from ByuN.
Map number 2 is Ascension to IR. Can ByuN start to pull it back together? That was a bumpy game 1, but of course that's why we make them play a best of 5. Right now, guys, Maru in the lead. Let's see what happens. In the upper left, in the blue.
Team expert, ByuN.
In the bottom right, in the red.
Jin Air Greenways, Maru.
Okay, going into this game. I don't really feel like we normally see ByuN with just the, big missed engagements. I feel like he's been so refined that last game in game 1, I'm almost thrown off by what we saw.
He
what I'm
gets
saying?
too aggressive.
Yeah.
All the TVTs that I see of ByuN, they kind of look like this, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But like, he's out here, right? He has like a few 3-4 medevacs with some Marines, 2-3 siege tanks. He's like, well, now I'm gonna get you. And it's like, well, I mean, there's a big defender's advantage in TVT, so you're probably not gonna get him, right? Because he'll have tanks that are siege, so you can't really close on those too easily. And then you're flying around with a bunch of medevacs where if you're just trying to harass, okay. But if you're trying to attack into someone who has mass Vikings, I don't know. I'm not a super fan of the way that he plays TVT in general, so.
He didn't see that barracks.
He did not.
He did not. That's actually kind of surprising. By the way, ByuN sticking to his roots.
Double barracks and Reaper.
Ooh. Oh, never mind.
Okay, see, this is actually really funny. He starts a 3rd barracks there. I wonder if this is just what his brain is. He's like, 3 racks Reaper, I must 3 racks Reaper. It's like, well, no, this is TVT. You definitely don't want 3 racks of
Yeah,
Reapers.
it's the wrong matchup to do that in. So we're going to have Reapers coming out here. Let's keep in mind that, at least from what we saw between the 2 players previously in this season, is that ByuN's Reaper control is so good compared to Maru's. But Maru might be able to completely contest that here.
Ooh, I love that move right there by ByuN, going up to try to capture that high ground. Now he gets the free Reaper kill. That's a really big deal. Oh, boy.
Oh, he's going to hide the
He's like, no,
SCV.
screw this.
He did not get back there and get that SCV. Instead, he's going to come up here and actually deny the SCVs that are making the this starport, excuse me, up here. I'm like, it's a factory because he's going back. Oh, ByuN.
Ooh,
there
just
you go.
barely getting that. 69 out of 71. More Reapers going to be coming in now.
With ByuN in the art of Reaper Micro, it's not just about where he sends the Reapers, it's also about where he fires the nades. Because he's able so well to manipulate the positioning of where his opponent is. It looks crazy. And even the very best players in the world, Code-S players, have a hard time dealing with it.
Well, I think everyone does and will for quite some time because no one has gotten quite to that level yet. Ooh, I love the mine, by the way. I guess you could see that and actually grenaded to death, but ByuN didn't overmake the Reapers, really. He got some damage in there. He delayed the command center and everything, but he's pulled back and he is teching up. This is quite a quick stim coming out of ByuN as well.
Okay, we've got a pickup over here. Medevac's northbound. Medevac, I should say northbound. Now, this is what Maru likes to do. And I feel like a lot of times Maru doesn't care if you, like with TY's style of play, he doesn't care if you kind of know that this is coming. Granted, I don't think he should have flown through the area that would see this, but if you assumed that this was happening, I think Maru would be okay. I don't believe you should give him the confirmation of exactly when the Medevac's going to get there. That's a misplay.
Funny. Well, you know the Reapers are there too. Like, where else are they going to be?
Yeah.
They're going to be mining minerals at his expansion? No, probably not. They can't do that. So probably on the watchtowers. But flies right over there. Looks like everything ready for ByuN, who is about to have stim, so some real punishment can occur if that Medevac overcommits.
A little drop over here from Maru. He does take out that SCV that's mining over there, or building over there, rather. And nicely done there by ByuN. Now, this is the ByuN with the control that we are used to seeing.
And now he's going to have not just great control as in micro, but map control as well, having stim and medevacs out already before that's even started over on Maru's side. Maru, like, I guess he's going to continue to harass this medevac and buy himself some more time, but he's not going to be able to actually secure his third base for quite some time now.
Okay, so far so good here for ByuN. Maru already ready for some defense of his own. He's getting the Vikings out now. Maru actually decides to come back in, hoping that maybe ByuN did not quite have enough here to defend.
Nice micro, too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does not really do that much.
ByuN the Marine trying to...
ByuN better with it without medevacs in this case, apparently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice catch.
Good game sense. He probably identified there's such a small number of Marines over there. He's like, okay, something's coming at me.
By the way, I was finding it a little bit questionable that he gave Maru S-Class defense, but so far in this series, his defense has been pretty unshakable.
I guess when we think about the other games we see of Maru, usually he's the one putting the pressure on, so we don't have to see him defend stuff. But
That's
I guess
true.
When we actually see a mirror matchup like this where Maru is eventually going to have to defend something from ByuN, from time to time, you can see that he really does have the ability to deflect whatever ByuN throws at him.
Maybe that's why ByuN knows it, because he's the only person more aggressive than Maru.
Yeah,
so
that might be true.
He's like, no, he stops my attacks. It's crazy. Most people don't.
Once again, Maru with the defense drives him out.
The Vikings rotate up here to catch these just as they're trying to go in. It's crazy.
So he unloads again. It is 3 bases to 2. Right now, ByuN is, it's almost 3 bases. He's making a command center over there. But I guess he can if he's being this aggressive and trying to lean on Maru this much.
The third command is done for Maru, but he's got to wait here for a little bit, get up to a critical mass of units so that this kind of very mobile force of ByuN doesn't just bowl him over. Nice scan by Maru telling him exactly where ByuN is at economically. You
can see right now with the pressure on here, Maru's been forced back. He's really focusing heavily on his upgrades, continuing to build up. He's actually got a sensor tower that's nearly done. And, in some ways, I suppose, he wants to have full confirmation that ByuN isn't going to pull a fast one, because when you're the aggressor, especially when you've got the pressure on, a Terran player and you're ahead in bases, you want to wait for them to try to move out with a big army because they want to punish you for getting your third too soon, and that's when you start dropping on top of them.
Yeah.
And then they have to pull back, and then you pick up and run away, and you're just getting bigger and bigger on 3 bases, and they're not. But the sensor tower, it's a little bit earlier than what we're used to seeing, but I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on this. And the fact that he's already getting a turret ring below where the sensor tower is so that he can very quickly, the area that he won't see it coming in, it'll just get blown up. Like, strategically, Maru is doing this so well. He's defending perfectly right now, and this is the time where he can take his third base finally.
Okay, you see now Maru trying to get this third up here. Now ByuN wants to buy. Oh, hold up. ByuN actually getting a good angle here on these tanks. Can he shave off some of the tanks up here at the top? There might not be enough Marines there to defend. And even though he doesn't completely drive Maru back, he does drive the command center back. That's been punted back towards the second base.
Yeah, it looks like he'll just expand up north instead here. And he did pick off a couple tanks, but he lost some medevacs as well. Let's not forget, these Vikings getting a lot of pot shots during all of that. And it looks like this is kind of stabilizing here for Maru, who finishes up his 1-1. Will get his 2-2 going shortly, but slightly slower than ByuN.
ByuN's going to come up here again. I don't know if all the tanks are in the right spot. It's actually just one tank, and the Marines aren't in the spot to cover it. ByuN is not stopping with this pressure, and I think this might end up knocking Maru out of the game. He's going to get the CC, and in fact, there's just not a sufficient tank out here, at least to defend this, for ByuN to actually be driven back.
Oh,
and then as I say that, there's a sufficient tank count. Maybe he's driven back. No. Okay, he actually is driven back. Well done. But the point is that the command center is not mining yet. And in fact, Maru's going to come forward here. SCVs and Marines. ByuN Sims, but maybe a little bit too late.
Yeah, finally Maru is able to clean up ByuN's presence over on this side of the map and thus take his expansion, but at quite a large cost. 13 SCVs going down, giving ByuN that economic advantage.
So ByuN maybe in some ways overextending there. Maru now effectively mining from that. But let's also keep in mind, Maru had to pull a lot of SCVs to fully drive back ByuN. So it's 52 SCVs to 66 here. ByuN's third base has not been contested at all. Oh, he scans, though, as the pickup happens. I'm wondering if Maru will actually just go back and unload right where he was before.
Yeah, might need to. ByuN has been holding these towers basically non-stop, though, so a bit annoying. Good siege up by ByuN, forcing him back off of this area.
Look at this. ByuN is so on top of this. It reminds me of Flash in Brood War, where like Flash is always scanning where his opponent's army is, so he just knows if he can attack. His game sense is so good. He pretty much sees the movement without having vision on the map from his opponent.
And even in this case, ByuN is set up very well. He's got defense in his main base. He's got enough at this third as well. That sensor tower telling him where everything's coming. Not sure he's going to be able to find any damage, but look at this. He's actually just kind of luring ByuN. He's like, all right, look at me. I'm going to hurt you. In the meantime, medevacs headed to the south, but go over the watchtower again.
Yeah, this has been the biggest mistake that Maru's been making in this series, is he's not respecting the fact that ByuN still controls the watchtowers. And even if you could guess there's a risk of a drop hitting you in these certain vulnerable positions, you really just, if you can hide it, you always hide it. Unless you're trying to send one small drop somewhere and distract them and then have a big one come in somewhere else. But it looks like ByuN is too preoccupied with the force there in the top center. So he'll be able to deny this expansion anyways. But ByuN, doubling down now on aggression of his own, is headed right towards the main here of Maru.
Ooh, and Maru is going to actually try to get some damage done at the same time. Dropping here into the natural here of ByuN. Actually, some of his upgrades are there as well, so definitely can knock those out. ByuN trying to defend while attacking the main base of Maru. Where is his units?
Now keep in mind, ByuN's on top of the production facilities. This can get snowbally pretty fast here. If for ByuN might be able to stop anything from contesting this drop over here. Meanwhile, Maru is hitting the economic locations here for ByuN.
Yeah, ByuN is not going to be able to mine nearly as much, but if he gets rid of all the production of Maru, then Maru is just going to get way behind army-wise. Maru's starting to attack down into this third base. Can he knock out all of the economy of ByuN?
Yeah, ByuN really abusing this ramp like it's a funnel that this army has to move through, and he's trading brilliantly now, taking out the factory.
Oh! Well, that was a big moment for ByuN. It looks like he might just be able to take this right here. This is too much damage.
You can see he knows exactly when to kite the Marines and when to make them stand still to completely do the optimal amount of damage. Now, Maru's still trying to drop over here, but I'm worried he hasn't quite done enough just yet.
Yeah, gonna siege up, but this will get cleaned up no matter what. ByuN coming out, dropping more Marines on top of the siege tanks.
Looks
okay,
like
never
he actually
mind.
does hold that.
Worst call of life.
I know, I've had a couple of those already in this game. These guys.
I thought for sure with that many Marines and SCVs he'd clear it. Oh my god. Maru, literal god here, holding on.
Well, it looks like now ByuN's cleaned this up. Now, ByuN's economy is in shambles, but Maru doesn't have anything to produce from, so ByuN's going to win this.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. ByuN winning that last game there and showing that he is so solid in his engages.
Yeah. Oh my god. This was kind of a crazy
You know,
one
I got to
here.
say with these two, I feel like it's been harder for us to call fights.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, at TVT, the action happens so fast. You have to see exactly how to split the Marines, when to hit the tanks, when to run away, when to try to fold in on the medevacs and the Marines when they're in smaller numbers, stutter stepping forward. It's interesting to see how well they handle it. That sometimes it looks like it's going to be one-sided, and the other player just does a few split-second moves and is fine.
Yeah, there was definitely some snowballing maneuvers that occurred during this game that made it kind of wild. But like ByuN on top of that ramp and Maru trying to break that ramp, that was the nastiest tank shots. Those tank shots were so dirty, tasteless. They were the dirtiest tank shots. Oh my god. There's not ever been as good a time to talk about a dirty tank shot as that. That was almost to the comical level when we saw the Adepts just get erased. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember this. All right, guys, this is game number 3. ByuN versus Maru. They're tied up 1-1 so far in this best of 5. In the upper right, in the blue, he is
Team expert, ByuN.
Guys, someone tweeted me the highlight of when that happened, when all the Adepts died at the wall in. Like, you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
It's like
in the bottom left, in the red.
Jin Air Greenways, Maru.
For people who don't understand what I'm laughing about, there was like this game that Taste of Cyber casting where like a bunch of Adepts shaded up a Terran ramp, and it was walled off. And then the shade finished, and they all died in like 2 seconds.
It looked like somebody turned out a bunch of lights, like they were fireflies, and their lights just went out. Like, oh, they're gone.
It was like there was mines and siege tank hits and Marines with Simon. Just every Adept was gone in like 2 seconds.
Oh.
And it was like it was like if you had nuked them, they could not have died quicker. Oh my god. Okay, so double proxy barracks from Maru.
Yeah, Maru. He does not care, man. He is going to go and try to cripple ByuN right away here.
Wasn't someone saying before this they're excited to find all the new proxy locations on the map?
Yes, that's right.
Oh my god. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Peekaboo, nerd.
He only sees one Rax.
I spy with my little eye.
Yeah, bunker on the way, going to be very useful indeed.
All right, so we need to... Well, we'll talk about this in a second.
Sorry, he's putting some damage on that bunker. This is kind of a tricky one. Like, if the bunker just goes up, I guess that's the end of the rush. This is the only place you can jump in.
Yeah. Ooh! Raise it!
Yeah, he took some additional damage on his Reaper, so he has to be careful with this. Oh my god, he kills it right before it finishes that bunker.
He needs to get an SCV there. Go, 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 go. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, it finishes.
Okay, he's got it up. All right.
Maru starts his factory, but it is quite a bit later than ByuN's.
So, I want to talk about an old tale. Do you know the story of Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin, if you knew, you had to know his name. Like the princess or whatever had to guess his name to defeat him on the ladder. This is a story of Rumpelstiltskin. If you just know the build, okay, then you stop the attack, right?
Yeah,
you should say that we should make a meme out of this on the ladder when you find their proxy. And you just know you just say Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
By the way, now Rumpelstiltskin got caught. He was like somewhere up on a hill clapping to himself and dancing, saying his name.
Why would you do that?
Fucking idiot. Good job, Rumpelstiltskin. Way to get caught, man. You're talking to yourself.
This is like an old story for children. What is this supposed to teach children?
I don't know. It's like
Don't be fucking weird and sing your name and clap your hands, little kids, or you won't be able to steal the princess's baby.
What are you doing, Rumpelstiltskin?
And you know what? To be fair, they act like he's a bad guy in that. He's not that bad, right?
Wasn't
Didn't
he like
help her have
sewing
a
the
baby
gold,
or something? Or?
gold thread? No. I think
He helped her
the
find
deal was
love?
he was going to get the baby. He was going to kidnap her baby.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that spun the
Gold thread so that she could
gold
marry
thread.
the king or something?
That's right.
Well, I mean, that's his baby. He did his part of the
And
bargain.
you know how Rumpelstiltskin
He even
died?
gave her a way out of it.
Rumpelstiltskin died because he got so mad after he got caught because they found out his name that he stomped so hard that he fell into the earth. And that's exactly, I think there's different variants of it, but that's basically what happens when good old Rumpelstiltskin gets caught cheesing you on the ladder, and he's like, no! He's like raging so hard. I should just went for free.
We see the QXC keyboard slam.
That's right.
It falls into the earth.
Knocking over his water cup. he's spilling Mountain Dew into his keyboard. I gotta go to Best Buy tomorrow. Protos. I don't know, man. I just sent a worker out and you made stuff right outside my ramp. I mean, that's pretty risky. That being said, though, I think you do need to use builds like that to win in a best of 5 sometimes.
You talk so much trash on
every once in a while, Rumpelstiltskin will win a GSL, okay? And we got to be like, all right, well, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a champion.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
When you said, do you know how Rumpelstiltskin got caught? I was like, well, I mean, I guess they probably just built a bunker next to him. But
that's right.
That's what we saw this game.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're having fun. I have to revisit that story now that you've brought this all to light.
Yeah. It's a very useful tale. I believe
clapping his hands, singing his name.
I know, like, why? I'm like, that's how he got caught. I'm like, that was the big scene. You were talking to yourself. He's like, I know my name. My name is Rumpelstiltskin. It's like, of course you know your name. It's your name. Yeah. My cat knows her own name. Okay, and she barely has any ability to use any language. She's got like 3 different meows.
Oh my
okay.
God. This is crazy. It's like the dumbest way to get caught ever.
I know, right? It's actually like a really weird way that story ends. I'm like, okay.
It's like people that hack and stream. It's like, well, I mean, come on. This is like, this is the dumbest thing you could do.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't it be dumber?
I got tears in my eyes. Anyways, this game has moved far beyond the super aggro double racks Reaper at the entrance. We have the third base here for ByuN up and running, and that's of course you get that third base up and running because Maru took that risk earlier on, or will he get it in time? All right, he needs to get another SCV over there, but certainly we will probably have that command center finished before we have his opponent actually get the command center landed. Maru get the command center landed over there at the third base.
Delaying that out quite a bit. The upgrades kind of similar to each other here. I don't see Stim started here for Maru. For all I was laughing, sorry. For all I know, he already has it and combat shields. That would be kind of weird, but
I don't believe he has it because he didn't Stim back there when he had vision of the Banshees. So
well, Stim costs health faces. I don't know if you knew this, but
what?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
It's not just for free?
It nerfs your Marines.
That's not the medevac just high-fiving the Marine? Like, isn't that great? We got that ability.
It shines lights on the ones doing good jobs.
Yeah, look at this guy. This guy gets it.
Look at
this Banshee's doing a lot more damage than I really thought it was going to do.
Some serious Tom Banchery going on right now.
Tom Banchery. So, the Marines are continuing to drive back. No, excuse me. The Cyclones are coming up now. Gosh, I'm still actually hoarse from that ASL cast. I don't know if it's showing up for you guys, but man. Do I sound hoarse to you?
I don't think it's from the ASL cast. I think it's from the Rumpelstiltskin joke.
Well, I got to say, Maru's actually doing a pretty damn impressive job considering how this game has started out. Like, he's actually keeping momentum on his side here. He's actually ahead in supply, just a little bit behind in SCVs, but that's not too impactful at this point in time. And he's got map control. It's been ByuN really trying to defend everything that his opponent throws at him.
A very late stim, so some of these really sharp moves that aren't going to occur right now out of Maru, but moving up with this many Siege Shanks and a quality air count, oh my god.
Oh, here we go! Is this going to actually bust down? I mean, with those auto turrets, that's so much damage, and you can't really even fully engage this army until you've taken that out. Tanks, Marines in the back, a Banshee at the top doing some damage.
Oh my god,
I think
huge
he just
amount
did
of
it
damage done to
with a
ByuN here.
face-melting attack here from Maru. Yeah, I mean, he just had enough. He just chipped away early on.
18 SCVs being taken out is no laughing matter. And this command center going to have to be lifted, no doubt. Don't know if he can actually break the ramp, but this is a great attack from Maru.
Okay. We have this set up to the point where ByuN probably will not be able to reclaim, especially now that he's losing more of these air units, probably not be able to reclaim that third base for a while now. I guess we might see ByuN try to do a drop or move out, but you already see that the Vikings moved out just a little bit. The check and peek there. In fact, scanning there and seeing those medevacs means he knows he's not dropping.
Even baits a little stim out right there, but ByuN, how do you recover from this? It looks like he's making a single Liberator right now. Doesn't control the air, so can't really push the tanks back with that. I'm not sure what the plan is. I think that the best he can do is load up his Marines and
here we go. He's just going to go for it. He's going to be able to gun down the Liberator, I believe, before a single shot actually gets off. And he does do that. Okay, I do wonder sometimes when we see this happen that maybe the Terran overstays is welcome. Maybe what you're supposed to do if you're Maru is actually unsiege back up and just regroup.
Yeah.
Throw a few scans down. You can give up those mules and put the scans down because he doesn't have the mining capabilities that you do, and then just look for the next opening.
Yeah, when you see a Terran leave units in a position like that so far across the map and not really reinforce them, it's very much like the Ascension to Ire game we saw between TY and Gumiho, I think, where it's like you're looking for them to incorrectly break it.
Right.
And then you gain a lot of advantage to that.
That being said, we have another drop coming up here. Now, the angling here from ByuN is really good. In fact, he might be able to get the medevacs. No. Nicely boosted out of there by Maru. But again, it's ByuN on his back foot right now. And if you look at the supplies, 97 to 130. I mean, he has a lot more muscle. He has a lot more tools at his disposal to try to move around the map and beat up his opponent.
We'll see what ByuN can possibly get done at this point. Maru has been so aggressive and has 4 medevacs out in the map with a lot of units here that maybe ByuN's counter drop can get something done. Look at that. The sensor tower not quite yet ready, so Maru very much out of position against this.
Oh, this is such a good play here, too. To hit the geysers back there, just slow down how many more medevacs and tanks he can get. And the thing is, with Maru, he has enough back here. He will drive this out. In fact, he might want to start gunning down the medevacs instead of the Marines. Actually, these guys know better. What am I talking about? I need to shut up. I'm like, here's what ByuN and Maru are doing wrong with their unit control. Sorry, guys. I would like to redact that last part of the cast. All right, we'll just never talk about it again. That one's off the record. Sometimes I feel like it's okay for me to be like, actually should have done this. And I'm like, these guys understand TVT unit engagement so much better than everybody else. So Marines dropping down now, driving out some of these SCVs. Slowly but surely, ByuN seems to be getting bled out of this game.
I like that a lot, too.
What?
Like, no. These ByuN versus Maru. They really know their shit.
I really shouldn't be talking right now.
Let me be quiet. I'll give you guys some good background music.
I'm going to continue to applaud for the rest of this game and not talk.
Oh, my.
So.
I wish your haters could unmute you just for that moment.
That's right. That's right. Ortasis really took one. Well, ByuN's kind of starting to hold this all off. The problem is he hasn't been able to mine effectively from these 3 bases, whereas Maru's like sucking all the resources out of this so quickly. You see we have another attack coming over here.
It looks like a lot of units here were waiting for ByuN. Might just barely be able to push this off, not losing too many SCVs. But the thing is, each time he loses some SCVs. He has never been able to re-catch up in that count. His army has stayed a little bit smaller, but Maru has not expanded upon his lead in such a way to gain more economy or anything like that, so that does make me a little bit nervous for him.
Yeah, he never took another base, even though I think it would have been impossible for ByuN to try to do any kind of drop and stop that 4th base without Maru basically winning the game, but, maybe you shouldn't talk Artosis because this is ByuN versus Maru, and these guys are so good at TVT. No, I do agree with you in all seriousness there. I think maybe he could have done that this way, but Maru might have also been confident that he could have done the killing blow.
Hey, well, he wasn't able to do that killing blow. He has taken the gold base at this point and still maintains some map control, but ByuN is actually about to be up 1 Marine upgrade, which makes a huge difference. +3 attack is going to allow you to win Marine fights much more often. So that's definitely helping out, moving down with his Siege Shanks. He's really evened up that army supply, but he needs to get something done here now.
Okay, we have ByuN trying to move out. This has really been the first time in this game that ByuN has actually been the initiator. It's been almost 15 minutes and ByuN has been in the back just trying to deflect and stop Maru from possibly ending the game. Now it's ByuN's turn. But look at this. The sensor towers for Maru are so good. And I just don't know if he can actually win this fight. Let's see. This should be the kind of the climax here of these two. Problem is, when you have the Vikings like this, you don't need to scan anywhere near as much as your opponent.
Yeah.
The medevacs can't escort the Marines into the fight, and therefore Maru just begins to inch forward. And the problem is for ByuN, if he unsieges the tanks and tries to run away, that will trigger Maru to stim forward and ultimately gun down the tanks as they try to leave. And you don't know. Well, there we go. This is all kind of getting highlighted right here.
Yeah. He is being able to pick off some of these medevacs. It's hard to cover those tanks otherwise. And you see, ByuN just has to keep scanning. Now with these Liberators coming up, that's the end of the push. ByuN knows that, picks up, gets out of there.
Maru is nearing the max out point, and it's almost like we have. Oh, hold up. He did not siege up in time. This battle is going to end in blood and guts for ByuN. GG, Maru wins game number 3. He's up right now with a 2-1 lead.
A very strong victory there after getting his Rumple build skin scouted.
That's right.
But a very, very strong comeback there by Maru. Constant harassment. Those Banshees kind of all over the place. You know, getting picked apart, but ByuN did a good job. Eventually, he kind of sewed everything up tight, got a really strong army, but Maru, with the air control and the sensor towers, could not be pushed down.
Man. Now remember, ByuN, I would say, is he the most emotional player that we have currently in the GSL Code S?
Yes.
Well, lucky for him, we've got a break. He's going to have to try to pull it back together and hopefully come back in game 4 and 5. Guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back here at the GSL.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
뭐야 이게? 설마 탄? 전국민 슈팅 그라운드 탄! 지금 사전 예약하세요.
냄새가 나. 어두운 곳에 숨은 냄새를 풍기는 바로 너!
바로 너!
원인은 쾌쾌한 에어컨 냄새. 신제품 페브리즈 차량용으로 상쾌하게.
페브리즈
차량용.
오버워치 아이돌 학교를 소개합니다.
선서 우리는 오버워치 아이돌 학교의 교육과정을 성실히 임하며 최고의 게임 아이돌로 성장할 것을 다짐합니다.
좋았어. 이제부턴 진지 모드.
신입생 입학 조건 단 하나. e스포츠와 오버워치를 사랑하고 PC방을 좋아하면 돼요.
뭘 넋을 놓고 보고 있나.
매주 목요일 저녁 10시에 방송됩니다. 오버워치 아이돌 학교.
먼저는 반짝이 에이서브리 웬지 아재분들 라이드션 형님들도 좀 손쉽게 플레이할 수가 있고 일단은 메인 이벤트 진행 한번 해보겠습니다. 나 지금 반지 재미나게 하고 있다고? 반지 가장 좋은 시스템이 아닌가. 성물 두개 실어 성배 떴다고? 성물 2개 나왔어 지금? 공격력 3대 게임이 클래스가 있어 좀 오래 간다고. 그렇지. 빵! 되게 재밌다. 레벨업 할수록 다양한 할 거리가 있는 반지. 너머티 감사드립니다.
When it's silver. All right.
We are back here at the GSL Code S, ByuN versus Maru. Right now, Maru up with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, very well played here by Maru, especially winning that game where the double proxy Barracks Reaper got scouted. Playing a very nice, solid game throughout. Hopefully ByuN can kind of clean things up here going into game 4.
Well, you can see ByuN looks a little bit tense, man. I don't blame him. You know, ByuN is somebody, I remember just seeing how hard it hit him at the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice when he lost. You know, this guy really wants to keep winning.
Yeah, he is
He wants
so
to be a
emotional,
Bonjour.
but this is, while it makes people love him more than almost every other pro gamer ever, it is a weakness in his play in a certain way, right? As Maru was saying, his mentality isn't necessarily all there. He is very emotional. Losing these games could have thrown him off.
He gave him an F on mentality.
And he talked about how maybe he should have given him lower. And ByuN doesn't even really argue against it. This is not a slight against his character. I think we all appreciate ByuN for these qualities, but it can make it hard to come back when behind.
Our next map is on Newkirk Precinct. Let's see if ByuN can come back, or if Maru is going to close this out.
Fight, heaven shall burn. In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, wings are war. Are you ready to fight? Yeah!
In the bottom left, in the blue.
Team expert, ByuN.
Note the gold. That's because he's a GSL Code S champion. No joke there.
Good, because it wasn't funny.
It wasn't. Nothing funny about that gold. In the bottom right, in the red, he is.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
Blue, Abu D, Abu Die.
What? What?
He is not a GSL champion. Oh, double barracks. Double barracks.
Where?
Well, who do you think where?
Sorry, you could have blindfolded me. You could have blindfolded me, and I would have been able to, cast it.
Maru,
learned what am I doing?
What am I doing? From the Zerg group about his Reapers.
Well, let's see how well ByuN does this time around. I'm glad, by the way, we all learned the lesson of Rumpelbildskin. Hopefully, somebody who could have won the WCS World Finals won't be in a stall in the bathroom clapping their hands saying, "My name is Rumpelbildskin," while the other player walks in and goes, "Oh my God.
I'm going proxy barracks Reaper.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it on this map in this location.
And that's my name.
I lose if you make a bunker." Which actually didn't even happen, which kind of makes it funny.
I can't believe he didn't wall that in time. Okay, ByuN is flustered for sure.
That's a little bit shocking.
That is, there's not like a There's not some kind of reason where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to show
him to
this.
scout my cheesy opener. Well, now, like, I guess
this is quite bad for ByuN.
Bit sad about that.
What's this? The SCV might just be out there to try to come in with the Reaper.
Yeah, tank some shots so his Reapers can get on top of his opponent's Reapers here.
Well, let's keep in mind that it's not just the fact that ByuN went for this build, but that he's the best with Reapers in the world by far. Period. The end.
Yes. No room for interpretation there.
No,
Tasteless.
there's none. It's truth with the capital T.
You could bring that down to the bank and have someone stamp it.
That's right.
I'm sure there's bank tellers that watch GSL. They'll be like, oh, yeah, no, I'll stamp that for you.
Yeah.
I'm a notary public.
But, that is really helpful for Maru to see that coming. And as long as Maru is just set up in the right way, Maru might check in. What? I don't know. That was the last thing I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
Now
Reapers can be funny like that. It sees something and wants to attack, so it jumps down.
Yeah, it gets yoinked down by the AI.
That's pretty messed up. He would have held this way better if that hadn't happened. So little bit of extra damage for ByuN.
The Reapers for ByuN are starting to heal back up here. And do we have any more that are going to meet up with him? I don't believe I see any on the minimap.
No, he's stopped. He's going for add-ons. He's getting stim. Teching up a bit more as well. He is going to have that earlier stim here once again now.
Okay, the Reaper's now chasing back this one Hellion. He needs to get this alive. Okay, he does not get that one extra shot off with the Hellion, and that means the Reaper goes down here. Is this going to start to snowball?
This is all kind of crazy that we're seeing him actually get this much damage done. Maru has to really be kicking himself that his Reaper jumped down there. That really did mess up the defense completely. But, hey. ByuN, the best with Reapers. It remains to be a fact to this day, to this game even.
Okay. Starport now on the way. I have to say, ByuN never fails to impress when it comes with those Reapers.
Banshee coming out, though.
It's funny, too, man. Reapers were not working for a while, but he kept doing it, and then he just became so good at it. It just works.
That occurs,
yeah.
even very late into a game. I'll have to look up exactly what year it was, but Mutalisks were always good and used in StarCraft 1, and then Shark figures out that you can micro them in such a way that they gained a whole new life, where that became not quite 50%, but somewhere in that range of the practice time of Zerg players.
In Brood War, yeah. Microing those mutas.
Yeah, new things will be figured out still in the future, guys, about how to micro all sorts of units in StarCraft 2. And people will get better and better, and we'll figure out, like, oh my god, if you just micro this unit at this new level, it kills XYZ,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, did you know you can proxy 2-gate Stalker and just kill a Terran? It's like, we don't know what it'll be exactly, but things like that will continue onwards.
So Maru putting a little bit of pressure on here with this Banshee. Note he's being really conservative with it, just trying to make sure he can get stuff he knows he can kill. He doesn't want to take too much damage on this.
Well, he even skips Cloak. He's just like flying around with it.
Oh,
and it has force turrets.
Did he see the medevacs going?
He might have. I think he technically caught the edge of it in his vision, but who knows if he was looking.
Well, we have some splitting. Unfortunately,
yeah, I guess he was looking.
Well, the thing is, if the medevacs are moving there, there's always a chance they actually, if they were spotted and ByuN thinks they were, that he'll drop over in the natural. Okay, he scans here, but of course scanning at that moment is also a tell.
It's always a tell when you see a scan, a Terran is incoming to that location.
Okay, so logically Maru moves and gets ready for this, but I don't know. These Stim Marines, okay, the angling there was very good. It was not clean enough for ByuN to get on top of the tank and gun it down.
This Banshee continuing to harass these fringe depots on the base. It's 2 depots now. See, this one he put down, but that doesn't help.
This is, yes, it's not helping. Keep in mind, Maru is now banking Ravens here. ByuN's tried to do a little bit of harassment of his own. He hasn't really done that much damage if you just subtract the Reapers early on. I mean, once the second base got up and running.
His quick stim with the double medevac, like this is something that we see used a lot against Zerg and very little against Terran and Protoss, and for a good reason. Like if you kind of see that this is coming, it's not going to do too much damage against you. It's not just about micro. You also have ranged units.
The pressure is really on here for ByuN. He has to win this game and the next. Maru's been doing a decent job, but this is where we see people pushing out on this map. It's funny, this map can make for, like, oh, nice sandwiching. This map can make for very short games where it ends around when the third base is being taken. And other times it can make for these crazy epic long games. But I feel like with TVT and these two players playing, I don't imagine this is going to be one of these incredibly long games. With how these guys are engaging and how Terran vs. Terran's played on a knife's edge.
Yeah.
You stem a little bit quicker and get a little bit more of a concave to their convex, and you will just eat their army.
Yeah, and this map specifically, like, if you get up in the range of their third base that's in the pocket, like we're looking at right now, if they're trying to defend that, and they're both taking that as their third base, and you have medevacs, you just load up and zoom into their main base, and you just cannot reposition very quickly against that. So we definitely see some crazy games like that. You have to have perfect defense to stop it. Which, according to ByuN, only Maru has. An innovation, of course.
Yeah, he's got that too. Okay, third base set up. I think these siege tanks should be sieged up before the stem could come in and do any damage.
Yeah, it looks like everything's sewn up tight here for Maru.
Seem to be normalizing for now. You can see the scans here. And the reason why we have a scan over on the moving army here for ByuN is Maru's trying to check and make sure that he doesn't just pick up and go for the main.
Yeah, if you don't put that scan down, there is the possibility he just jukes in a direction you don't expect, and suddenly there's 4 or 5 medevacs unloading and destroying whatever the hell they're unloading on top of.
We may see another scan or a poke here with the Ravens and the Vikings as he's trying to look. He wants to try to monitor the movement. There it is, good scan. And actually getting good pickup. He does do some damage to that siege tank, quite important there, if we have a full-on engage on both sides.
Sick defense by Maru, though. Really great preemptive scans. He's got a nice sensor tower.
If you guys missed the interview these players had before, they rated each other, and both Artosis and I were kind of surprised that ByuN said that Maru, what did he say, had S-class defense. So, like, from A to, or like,
from A to Z with S being on top.
Yes. From F to A, but then we give them the option to have like S, like, okay, they're perfect at it.
Yeah.
He said he has perfect defense, and we were kind of surprised because, ByuN's so good at engaging, but we've really seen Maru pretty much be okay with anything that ByuN throws at him. And even if it doesn't work, Maru still can stabilize. These guys are a great match for each other.
They really are. This has been quite an awesome series. By the way, Maru continues to play in this way, where he gets this sensor tower, and then he has like this little row of turrets where he can't see. I really like it. I like stuff like that, where he's like, okay, everything is well defended. My blind spots have a lot of defense, and the places I can see have much less. I'll just react to there.
Well, it's cool because, with that sensor tower, you can kind of bait them into going to that tiny blind spot, but then they're going to run into this hallway almost where they can't get out no matter what. They end up getting gunned down that way. And Maru just setting up, checking for this third. He scans. He says, can I get anything like the reinforcements? Where's the rally point exactly?
And to be honest, if you cover up the name tags in this game in particular, I would tell you that this is TY playing red. Like, this is looking so TY. Look at this. He's got these medevacs. He's defended really well. He's got great building set up. He's zoning perfectly with his Vikings, and here he comes. He's like, okay, your army's on the other side. Time to do some damage.
Okay, Maru breaking off some of these Marines here with the rest of this army, and I note he's trying to run from the army that's coming down there from the low ground. He may be forced to pick up, abusing that ramp there as a funnel. And there it is. Look at all that damage he did, and now he's out. By the way, these guys, their upgrades are completing like basically the same time. And now Maru probably realizes, well, clearly ByuN wants to come back and try to reinforce this army. He wants to put some pressure on here. And so he's going to pick up with a huge drop and try to just plop it down in the main. But ByuN is ready.
Oh, does ByuN see that? Because if he doesn't, he could be in real trouble here. There's a little tiny area where his watchtower doesn't see, and Maru is going to skirt right through there. He's flying through the needle, tasteless.
Okay. Let's see if he can thread this drop, Artosis.
This is kind of crazy. That's a lot of Marines coming out. And ByuN in a good position. What was ByuN attacking over there?
I think he might have misclicked, actually.
It might have
happened so fast, I might need to rewatch this when I get home. But there's not a lot of Marines down here, and as much damage as the tanks can do with their splash, the Marines get up there and cut them out. It may be too much.
Wow,
Maru no, it's not. Maru's like,
defending.
Maru's like, shut up, Tasteless, watch this, and then he wins the game.
So do you even know TVT engagements? Maru is everywhere, and ByuN is eliminated here in the round of 8.
Maru did it! 3-1!
Really well done. Wow. And that's who Gumiho wanted to win, right? He said ByuN lose so he can practice with ByuN for this next round.
Yeah.
Look, this was a really strong showing by Maru. I was feeling, because I love the TVT of the TY and Gumiho, but I think Maru played a fantastic series. It was like a slightly more aggressive TY that we were watching.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel like we initially had all these categories. We were able to put the 4 Horsemen Terrans in, but they're not done improving Artosis.
Yeah.
They're not stuck in that archetype that we've kind of labeled them in because we're trying to make it simpler to understand them. You saw that Maru really had some very good tactical approaches on how to punish his opponent. And also the unit control here from Maru was very, very good.
Yeah. You know what? It's kind of like
he was ByuN.
It's kind of like putting kittens into jars, right? Like the kitten fits in the jar, but if you keep feeding it in there, eventually it will grow to fill the entire jar, just as their skill sets grow to fill out everything and become complete Terrans.
You are a poet, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Maru has to say. Get ready for that Maru interview, guys. I know you guys are hyping home. Here we go.
조성주 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Let's meet the winner, Maru. Congratulations.
와, 이번 8강 2경기로 믿고 보는 태태전이었거든요. 먼저 소감 들어볼게요.
That was amazing. TVT, how do you feel?
네.
이겨서 다행인 것 같아요.
Before the matches, I was really nervous, but I'm glad I advanced.
선수가 상대 전적이 GSL에서도 이번 만남이 처음이었고 이 외의 경기도 거의 없어서 정말 흥미진진했던 거였어요.
So you guys haven't been
그런
really
떨림이었던
playing against each
건가요?
other in the past, and this is your first GSL match between you two.
잘한다고 생각하기 때문에
네.
좀 설레.
Well, personally, I think ByuN is the best Terran
재밌었던
among all of the top Terran
오늘
players
경기 잘
out
풀린
there.
것 같아요?
Wow.
It was thrilling to have a match against him.
잘 풀린 것 같아요.
네, 오늘 경기에서
Are you satisfied with the
조성주 선수의
games?
공격성이
He says, yeah.
정말 제대로
Overall,
잘
I
나왔던
think
것
everything
같아요.
went pretty well.
진가가 나왔던 게 특히 3세트였는데 그 물량으로 업그레이드를 압도하면서 이겼잖아요.
I could see your aggression.
소득을 묶어두고
It was a very impressive style.
했는데 그 뒤에
And
정말
it seems
공격성이 대단했습니다. 이렇게 주도하고 공격적으로 하는 게
You were behind because you did that proxy build, but then you managed to come back
게 제일 좋은 거예요.
and you ended up winning.
이렇게 하면 좀 게임을 편하게 할 수 있어가지고 이렇게 하는 게 제일 편한 것 같아요.
네, 변윤우 선수는 채팅으로
Yeah, my aggression.
한것 같더라고요.
네,
It actually ended up
많이
working
하신 것 같은데
to my advantage.
저는 별로 안 했거든요.
I like that style a lot.
기분에
I think that could work out well for me.
네.
편하게 긴장을 안 했으면
Because it's true, he never really was able to punish him.
아, 그래요. 자, 절친과의 이 대전에서 승리를 하고 이제 4강에 올라가게 됐습니다.
He said he thinks if ByuN wasn't maybe nervous, it would have been a tougher game.
고병재 선수와 만나게 됐는데
So Maru, in the
고병재
semifinals,
선수는
you're going to be up
어떠세요?
against another Terran, Gumiho. How do you feel about that?
되게 잘하시더라고요. 여기서 보는데
네.
그래서 좀 긴장이 많이 되네요.
Well, I
변윤우
think
선수보다
Gumiho
더
is
까다로울까요?
그건 아닌
really
것 같아요.
great.
그래요?
I'm always impressed when I watch him play.
결승 가네요?
Well, do you think he's going to be tougher than ByuN?
아, 그래요? 자, 이번에 정말 현존
He says,
최고의
"I don't think
테란들이
so."
8강부터 다 만났기 때문에 참 화제였죠. 이번 4강에서
that means
고병재
you're gonna make it to the
선수와의
finals, perhaps.
대결에서 승리한다면 현존 최고의 테란이라고 할 수 있을까요?
Sorry, this is getting a little bit later. He said, yeah, I think I'm going to make it to the finals.
테란 원탑 맞겠죠?
So if you make it to the finals after
않을까요?
defeating Gumiho,
그쵸?
do you think you'll win the entire,
알겠습니다. 자,
or excuse me, do you think you'll be the best Terran in the world? And he says, yeah, I guess that would make
자,
me
이제
the best Terran in the
결승도
world.
머지 않았고 정말 오랜만에 앞두고 있어요. 마지막으로 팬분들께 각오 들려주시죠.
So before we close the show,
무척
say some words to your
설레고
fans.
긴장이 많이 되는데 꼭 4강 이겨서 결승 가도록
I'm
하겠습니다.
nervous and excited at the same time.
알겠습니다. 다시
I'm going to do
한번
my best.
4강 진출 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
And he says I'm going to do my best to make it to
네,
the
이렇게
finals. And you
오랜만에
know what?
4강
Maru's
진출에
getting
성공한
better at
조성주
interviews,
선수를
Artosis.
만나봤는데요. 오늘 경기
Everybody's getting better.
확인해 보겠습니다.
Everybody's getting better.
These guys are filling out their jars, man. Very well done here by Maru tonight. Advancing to that round of 4.
Yes, we got a great TVT in the round of 4. And tomorrow, by the way, not like on Saturday like we normally do it. We're doing it on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're doing it live.
And
Stats vs. Classic, Rogue vs. Sue.
Really, really sick. That
I've
we are
got
gonna
some
have the
great
entire
games for
round
you.
Ooh. We got Classic, we got Rogue. Tomorrow's games will be in vogue. Now your turn. Go ahead, rhyme something.
We've got Sue, we've got Stats. My rhyme is better than yours.
That's. Come on.
I gotta go. I'm sorry, guys. This is why I become a rap star, which was my first dream.
That was your first dream being a rap star, was it?
we have two great mirror matchups. So in our grand finals, we either have a TV Z or a TVP, and I really think no matter how it adds up, it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, look at it. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. Rogue is in top form, guys. This guy is over 7K MMR on the Korean server.
Crazy.
Something regularly reserved only for innovation and ByuN, but he is right up there. He is playing very well. We just don't see him as often right now. And his EVZ is strong. I think you have to look at Su, though, and be like, well, I mean, this guy should be hitting the finals and losing to Maru, but I guess we'll see on that one.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
Good night tomorrow, though, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations to both Gumiho and Maru. I thought they had fantastic games they showed us here tonight.
Yeah.
It really shows you how intense TVT still is. It can still be so back and forth, but there's these moments where it looks like it's even, and somebody wins so hard in a quick engage, the game spirals out of control.
Yeah, and I think Maru really showed that quite a few times against ByuN, where we'd even call a battle one way, then Maru's like, no, or ByuN's like,
he's
no.
like, shut up, casters. We're like, sorry.
Yeah.
Normally we're kind of right about it. Guys, if you want to support us and hear our voices in the game, because you guys probably don't hear our voices enough as it is if you watch GSL, you can get the announcer pack. You can buy that. And inside the game, it's an in-game purchase.
Even if you don't really like us, you're like, you know what, Rotterdam's the guy for me. You can buy the pack and then just mute it in-game. Just hit Control S. You don't even hear us anymore.
There you go.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. It's very much worth your money.
We do hope you guys enjoy that pack. We put a lot of love into that for you guys. So I guess that does it for us here tonight. Artosis, any closing thoughts?
I can't wait for tomorrow. Two days right in a row.
Watch out for Rumplebuildskin on the ladder. He's out there, okay? And when you find him, be sure to say his name.
Rumplebuildskin.
Rumplebuildskin. Thanks for joining us here at this GSL Code S. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We love you. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place.